Since starting this channel, I have had many viewers tell me I should create my own Linux distribution, that I love these minimal window managers like OpenBox, Fluxbox, Qtile, Xmonad, these sorts of things. I should create my own custom Linux distribution with one of these minimal or multiple of these minimal window managers. And you know what? I don't have that kind of time, and quite frankly, it doesn't interest me, mainly from the standpoint of I don't want to be a support network for others, because if I create, some custom ISO and put it out on the web, people are going to turn to me for support, and I just don't have that kind of time, and to be honest, it's not something I would enjoy doing. But you know what? One of my regular viewers, a fellow that goes by the name Present Arms here on YouTube, Present Arms, he creates his own custom spin of PC Linux OS. He creates a Trinity desktop edition of PC Linux OS called My PC Linux OS Trinity, and it is a fantastic, minimal, lightweight distribution. And he told me a few days ago that he wanted to create a custom PC Linux OS with my OpenBox configs that he grabbed from my GitLab page. And I thought, well, that's really nice of him, and he was going to use my config, set it up exactly the way I always set up my OpenBox sessions with my configs, my key bindings. He was going to install all the programs that I use on a daily basis, because that's all in my configs. He just pulled it all down from the GitLab page, and he spent, I don't know, 4 or 5 days creating this custom ISO of PC Linux OS with OpenBox just for me. So let's take a look. So Present Arms, we're going to take a look at his custom PC Linux OS with OpenBox. Before we get into that, I should mention I will post a link to where you guys can grab the ISO for this. Give me just a second. The ISO is hosted on a cloud website called PCLOScloud.com. So apparently PC Linux OS has their own cloud site, and I did not know it. PCLOScloud.com. I will link to the location of the ISO for you guys that want to download it. I will also link, of course, to Present Arms' user page here on YouTube. He doesn't post videos himself. He should, because he's such a knowledgeable guy. I mean, he creates, his own custom Linux distributions. So it would be great if he got into the YouTube game. Maybe I can convince him to do that at some point. He also is a regular poster. I chat with him a lot on Mastodon. Mastodon, by the way, if you guys are not on Mastodon, Mastodon has really become my preferred social media network of choice. I left Facebook and Twitter behind a few months ago, and I strongly recommended all you guys do the same. Facebook and Twitter, they do not respect your privacy. They do not respect your security. You know what? These decentralized social networks like Diaspora, and in particular Mastodon, they're fantastic. I have really just enjoyed the hell out of Mastodon. Since I joined, I am blown away by the site and by the people that post there. You get a lot more, I guess, adult conversation, and adult, not meaning like pornographic, but grown up conversation on something like Mastodon than you ever got on Twitter. Mastodon is just a fantastic site. I am over on Mastodon.technology. So Mastodon has multiple instances of itself. I signed up at Mastodon.technology. You'll find me at DistroTube at Mastodon.technology. And guys, if you're not already signed up at Mastodon, please check it out. And when you check it out, make sure to find me, hit me up on Mastodon, because, I would love for more of you to be over there with me. But that is another topic for another day. Anyway, I've got his Present Arms, his custom PC Linux OS with OpenBox. Let me log in. Did you notice he already had a user created for me? And the user was Derek. Now, what is the password for Derek? Did he use my super secure password that I always use when I do my distro reviews and VMs? He used my super secure password that nobody is supposed to know. I need to ask him how he knows my password. That is weird. Anyway, on startup, you guys saw Rofi launch. Rofi is a launcher, a run launcher. That is by default. In my configs, I have that set up because, you know, when I first launch into OpenBox, I want to run command launcher. That way I'm already typing to log into a session, so my hands are on the keyboard. Rofi pops up, I can just go ahead and type for whatever, you know, name of program I want to launch to. So that's why I have that set that way. Conky is also running here, but this is not my custom Conky. This is just a default Conky. That doesn't look very good. Let me kill that. So I'm going to go, and my right-click menu, he has it set up with my OpenBox theme and everything. I have a command here called Conky kill all, so that'll kill Conky. But this is very much my OpenBox configs. This is my Tent 2 panel configured here at the bottom. I mean, he went to a lot of trouble to get all the programs that I was using when I created this. He said he tried to install everything, and there were a handful of programs he could not get installed, or they were just too massive. It just didn't make sense to put it on the ISO. The ISO was almost 3 gigs, by the way. But he pretty much loaded it down with all the programs I use on a daily basis. He's even got all my OpenBox pipe menus, these dynamic menus. For example, my music player, this is a dynamic menu. I can play, pause, stop. It will show the track that is running. If I had music playing, it would show the track playing and the runtime. You know, it dynamically changes, you know, every time you open the menu. By the way, the music player I was using was Dead Beef. So that is the one he installed here, which is great. I love Dead Beef. It is great, minimal, easy to use audio player. We have no wallpaper by default. So in my configs, I was using Nitrogen to set the wallpaper. So Nitrogen is installed, but there's no wallpaper directories here. Now, I went to the trouble before hitting the record button here to install some wallpaper packs because I kind of assumed there would be nothing here. So if you navigate in your folder to user share backgrounds, you will have 2 folders here by default, backdrops and XFCE. XFCE has nothing in it. 2 hideous looking default wallpapers. I'll show you those here in just a second. Backdrops has 4 okay looking wallpapers, but nothing to write home about. I installed the Mate wallpaper pack. I opened up the Synaptic Package Manager. PC Linux OS uses the Synaptic Package Manager, and I found the Mate wallpaper pack, and that contains a good number of wallpapers. Anyway, I'm going to add the user share backgrounds directory here to Nitrogen, and now we have all those wallpapers. By default, the ones that were available to me were, I mentioned, the default PC Linux OS wallpaper, which is just horrible looking. I mean, that thing is ugly as sin, but the Mate wallpaper pack includes things like this wallpaper, for example, really nice. You know, some nice dark wallpapers. Actually, most of them are really dark. Since I'm using a dark theme, I would like a lighter wallpaper, maybe something like that. You know what? I'll go with I'll go with that. That actually looks pretty good. Let me open up Firefox here. Now, he did go to the trouble of using all my OpenBox configs and everything, but there were some things that he did not pull down that I need. For example, that default Conky that was on there, I want my old Conky. So if I navigate to my GitLab page at gitlab.com/dwt1 and go to personal projects, here are my repos. The DT dark theme is my GTK theme, so that is, you know, my theme here. So he pulled that down. My dot files. Now, he didn't need my entire dot files repo because most of this has nothing to do with OpenBox, but .config, OpenBox, right here, my OpenBox config. See, he pulled all that down, but right here, .config and then Conky. I want this Conky. So let me open that up. And I am going to copy this file. Copy file path to clipboard. Copied. All right, let's see. What kind of text editors did he install? I love Genie. Did he install Genie? He did. I click New here. Paste. That doesn't paste what I was trying to paste. I may just have to... I like this. It's not a very long Conky, so not a big problem. And paste. And then we're going to save. And we're going to save this to, if I go to the home folder, and we need to show hidden files and directories here, .config, conky, openbox.conky rc. I've actually already saved it. I did that off camera. And now I can launch my own conky. Let me close this window. Don't save. I've already saved it. I open up a terminal. The location to my conky. That is my custom conky. Now I need to set that conky to auto start and get rid of the default one auto starting. I'm not exactly sure where he's got the default one auto starting though. I looked in the home directory. I assume it's one of these, like in a init script somewhere in the home directory, but I can't find where he's got the default conky launching. But I need to kill it because that black box, that ugly default conky, is going to auto start every time, and I want this one here to auto start every time. How do I get that one to auto start every time? I go to .config/openbox. I have a file called auto start. Let me open that with Genie. And in here I need to, let's see, type the path to that conky. First of all, conky space -c for config and then the location. So .config/conky/openbox.conky rc. It's the name of that file, space, and then an ampersand at the end of the line. That's very important. Hit save. And because this is my configs, if I right click on the Tent 2 panel, it should kill this window. I mean, not right click, middle click, the mouse wheel click. Boom, kills it. I do middle click, boom, kills that window. Anyway, let me exit back out of this. Why am I going to exit? I want to log back in and see if Nitrogen resets the wallpaper I set. And I also want to see if my conky now auto starts. Nope. So Derek is the user. DT is the password for you guys if you guys want to take a look at this ISO later. Okay, so wallpaper did set. My conky did launch. Very cool. And you know what? I don't see. Yeah, the default conky also launches. So let me kill all conky, which is going to kill that conky and mine. I need to ask Present Arms exactly how is that default conky launching, because I need to get rid of that. Anyway, let me relaunch my own. But anyway, this is actually pretty much my OpenBox session. This is just like every other OpenBox session. I always set up some slight differences. For example, I was using a icon pack in mine called Maya Dark. It's available in the Arch repos. It's a green icon set and it's really attractive looking. He's using the Adwaita icon set, the default like GNOME icon set, which is just hideous to look at. So if I go to LX Appearance and see what other icon themes I have available, Maya is not here. He probably couldn't get it because it's not in the PC Linux OS repos. I could probably find it on the web though and just install it manually. But Breeze Dark is here. It's not green, it's blue, but it is a very nice icon set for a blue icon set. Yeah, I can roll with that for a little while. He's got all the programs I use on a daily basis, things like OBS. OBS, of course, will not work in a VM because, you know, it failed to initialize video. Your GPU may not be supported. There's no GPU here in a VM, but on physical hardware, I'm sure OBS would work just fine. In fact, I'm going to install this on physical hardware now that I know it just works in a VM. I'm going to go ahead and put it on one of my extra SSDs. I have 5 SSDs on my main production machine now, and I've got 3 that are empty. I'm going to put Present Arms, his custom OpenBox PC Linux OS, on one of those drives to play around. I would be curious to see if I could get my normal workflow done. You know, could I make videos? Could I stream videos from inside PC Linux OS? If I can get OBS to run and the NVENC encoder, because I use an NVIDIA card, I'm good. He's already got Kdenlive and everything installed. Kdenlive's here, Pulse Audio, Simple Screen Recorder, GU, VC View. I mean, that's pretty much everything I need. GIMP, I use GIMP to create, you know, some of the artwork, thumbnails, and stuff for the channel. GIMP is in here. Let's see what version of GIMP. Wow, that's a different little splash screen for GIMP. It's got the PC Linux OS logo. I guess they do their own custom splash screen there. That's really neat, though. It's taking a little bit of time for GIMP to load up here. But again, this is a VM. So about GIMP, this is GIMP 2.10.4. So yeah, it's a recent version of GIMP. So pretty much all the stuff that I use to get work done is here. Some of the things that do annoy me that I need to straighten out. Let me go back to the .config OpenBox folder. So I wanted to edit auto start, and I right click and chose Genie from this list. But you notice the first one is an ebook viewer. So that's the default. For these text files I'm editing, if I just double click, it tries to open this text file in an ebook reader. And you can't do anything in an ebook reader with a text file, so I have to close this, and I always mess that up in the few minutes I've spent in it. And then I have to go back, right click, and choose a more appropriate text editor like Vim, gedit, Genie, anything but the ebook reader. So I need to change that. I need to get that away from being the default way to open text files, because that doesn't make any sense. What else kind of bugged me? Some of the things here do not work because my default terminal for all my configs was Termite. Termite is not available in PC Linux OS, so he installed Console. Console with a K, that is KDE's terminal. A bit of a strange choice. Console's a fine terminal, but it does have some dependencies. I probably would have went with something a little lighter, maybe RxVT or Xterm, or even something like a Terminology if it's available, or LX terminal would have been fine. Qt terminal would have been okay. Console, though, I mean, I love the terminal. It's just kind of a strange choice. About console. So this is KDE's console 18.04.2. But because my config files are all set to launch things in Termite, like some of my pipe menus here, for example, this script launches these color scripts, these shell scripts, in a terminal. And I click run in terminal, it's going to try to launch them in Termite by default. I've already edited that script to fix it. But a lot of this, you guys, when you download his ISO, some of these things are not going to work. You're going to get error messages basically complaining that Termite, for example, is not installed. And that is because my terminal of choice in my old configs was Termite. So you may have to play around with some things to get it to work. I love the Rofi launcher, but that is not my Rofi theme. I had a Rofi theme very similar to my GTK theme. It was dark with some green highlights, some green highlighting. Really, really cool Rofi theme. I need to get that installed, but I'm okay with the default Rofi theme. I mean, it's just a command launcher. Overall, what do I think about Present Arms spending? I don't know. He probably spent 4 or 5 days creating this custom ISO just for me. My OpenBox configs, all my programs that I use, I'm just blown away that this guy, he took this kind of time to do this. Again, he creates his own custom spin of PC Linux OS with the Trinity desktop environment, and again, he volunteered his time to do this for me. I didn't ask him. I really wasn't expecting. I was blown away when he mentioned, hey, I'm making this ISO for you with your OpenBox configs with all the stuff you use. And you know what? I was really interested in checking it out. And again, I'm just blown away by it just works for one thing, and because it's my configs. For example, all my key bindings are here. Something I didn't mention, but my Conky actually has all my old key bindings here, which I'm glad, because it's been about 3 months since I used this particular OpenBox config file. But I had Super Alt and then the arrow keys. So arrow over left, or Super Shift left. Nope, that wasn't it. Let me see. I actually have to look at the config. Okay, I need the window to have focus, but I was right. Super Alt left arrow key. Super Alt right arrow key. So that is how you would do some pseudo tiling. You would put one window on one half of the screen, one window on the other half. And I also had Super Alt up and down doing the same. You could do one half the screen, the top half, or the bottom half. So that is some of the pseudo tiling. I also had Super 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it divides the screen into 9. A grid of 3 by 3. Now these are really small windows, even on my 1920 by 1080 monitor. So I had Super Shift the keypads 1 through 9, do a similar 3 by 3 grid, but the windows are a little bigger. See, this is a Super Alt 1, Super Alt 2, Super Alt 3, Super Alt 4. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is interesting because now it's a screen, a bigger screen that takes up pretty much the whole screen. And then Super Alt 6, 7, 8, 9. Super Alt left arrow key. By the way, Super Shift C should close if he used my configs. Yep. Super Shift close C for close. Very, very cool. So I love this. Present arms, you get an A++, buddy. Sincerely, I'm really flattered that you took the time to do this, and I applaud your effort. And I'm definitely going to install this on one of my physical drives, and I might try to live in it for a little while. Before I go, I do need to give a special thanks to all my patrons, all my Patreon supporters. Ansem, David, Carlos, Chuck, Daniel, Brian, Leor, AK, Ron, Mr. Neely Pops, Bart, Robert, Marcus, Dan, Mr. Smarty Pants, Swami, Ben, Humade, Keith, Dan, Mr. GFY, Michael, Tony, Bruno, David, Silvio, Omar, John, Carl, Greg, Christian, Rob, Matt, Mark, Tiedemann, First Stephen, Second Stephen, Third Stephen, Eduardo, Alex, Jake, Benjamin, Marcus, Interceptor, First Paul, Second Paul, Alan, Katrina, Voice Love, Matthias, John, and to Bella. You guys rock. You guys help make this show possible. Peace, guys.